Hey, how's it going? So we're gonna be solving, it's called Wherefore Art Thou, right? So the idea in here is we have a array, all right? So that's our array in here. And we are given an object and we need to return, we basically need to filter so that every, we need to filter basically array in such a way where it only returns values that have last, right, in it, and last must equal to this thing in here. All right, so ideally it should return just this thing here. So there are a lot of different variants in here. So for example, it must have apple, bat, and cookie, right? And apple, bat, and cookie, so the values inside must also equal. So we're effectively just trying to filter out the thing. All right, so let's get started. Now this is a very complex exercise. Like I don't know, I find it to be quite difficult, to be honest with you. I'll try to explain logic as much as I can. End of the function. All right. So the first thing we do is we take this one here. I find that to be second last, I think, is the best one. So we're gonna comment this out, put this in here, and this should return this. It should return this, okay? That's what we're looking for. Okay, so the two things we need in here is it's called has own properties object. So we're gonna be using this, right? We're gonna be using dot has own properties. We're gonna be using dot filter dot every. I think that's about it. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get the values out of the source. Oh yeah, we're gonna be using also dot object keys and then object in here. Okay, so the first thing is let source keys equal to object keys source. So if we type source keys, this should give us apple, bat, and cookie. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. They just give us apple and bat. So what we're doing is we're taking the source. So let me just break it down so it's a lot more visible, visually better. So this is the array, and this is the object, right? So as you can see, this is the array, and this is the object. So we're trying. Okay, so the first thing we did, we extracted apple and bat out of this object, apple and bat. Okay. So this is what we're looking for. Now we need to make sure that every single entry in here has both apple and bat. All right. So let's do let test one. No, actually, let's do this. Let final equal to collection. So this is this here, right? Dot filter collection value. So now if we look through collection value, right, this will give us every single one of them individually, because we are kind of mapping through it. I'm using filter, but realistically it maps through it. All right, so that's our collection value. So now we can see them on individual level. Now the program I'm using to see it without console logging is called Quokka, Quokka.js. So it's like this, Quokka.js. It's this one here. It's free, so you can use it. It's a very, very good extension. It's just mind-blowingly good, right? Okay, so now we need to return collection value. No, 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 no. So now we need to return either true or false. We need to map through them and find out, only return the ones that have both apple and bad, right? So for this, we're gonna use every, all right? So we're gonna write return, and then we're gonna go source keys, which is this thing here, dot every. So this will be every value. This is a bit confusing, but bear with me, bear with me. Now we're gonna return anything. Well, it doesn't matter, doesn't matter. So now every value is gonna be apple bad 4 times. Look, every value. Now, I don't know why it does that. It returns apple for some reason 4 times. So we just need to return anything, like every value, for example, and then it's going to display correctly. Okay, so now every is like a operator that checks whether it's like a map that returns true or false if every value matches. Okay, it's a bit confusing, but I mean, just think about it, that every, okay, first of all, why is it 4 times, right? Think about it this way, right? Um, how many objects are in the array? 4, right? There are 4. You can see it. It's in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Every, so source keys has 2, right? Apple and bad. So it's gonna be apple and bad 4 times, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because every is like a map method, and it checks every value in the array. It's very confusing. You have to learn how to work with it, but it's like that's what it does. All right. So now we have every value. We can check whether every collection value has both apple and bad. So we can do test 1. Okay. Let test 1 equals, right, collection value, which is an object. So we apply has on property every value. Okay. So now what's going to happen? I'll show it to you. Okay. So on the first iteration, it checks, does the collection value have apple? Yes. Returns true. Does it have bad? True. Okay. So test 1 will return true, right? You have to think of this every value that it works in blocks of 2, because source keys are 2. It's very, very confusing, but just try to think of this. Just try to do it yourself, then you'll see what I mean. Okay. So, right. Actually, I can probably show it to you. Let prefinal equals, and then if we console log prefinal, you see, so it returns true in here. That's actually supposed to be false. Oh, yeah. We need to return test1. Yeah. Okay, so think about it this way, right? Look, we have first object, apple and bat. We check, does it have apple? Yes. Does it have bat? Yes. Return true. Second object, which is apple. Does it have apple? Yes. True. Does it have bat? No. False. Return false. Third object, does it have apple? Yes. Right? True. Does it have bat? True. Right? Return true. Final object, does it have apple? False. Return false. Right? So that's why you get this thing here. And because filter will return something whether it's true or false, we will end, if we now console log final, which is this thing here, we will end up with an object that only has apple and bat in it, right? So if you look at final, because we need to return this, that's why. Return, so we can remove this now. Okay, so this is almost the final solution. Now, the final test, we need to make sure, so in here I'm gonna, so you see it looks like we solved it, but that's not yet the final solution. The final solution now is if we activate this, you'll see the issue. So now you see it returns everything that has last, but last name should be Capulet, right? It should not be, it should not match Montague or Null. It should only match Capulet. So we need to add two more tests, right? So let test 2 equals. So we need collection value, which is objects, right? And then every value. So test 2, you see, so we extracted. We can now see every single second name, all right? And now we need to make it equal Capulet, which is from the source. So let test 3 equals, whoops, source, every value, test 3. Oh, I made a mistake in here. Yeah, so you see Capulet. So now we want to return test 1 and test 2 equals test 3. So we want to only return value, Capulet, and test 3 is just, we basically took the source keys, right? We took the source keys last, right? Because you see source keys is every value right now. So every value is Capulet, right? Correct? Correct. So if test 2, which is the second name Capulet, matches test 3, we want to return it. And you see we get the final value. Not the best explanation, but I hope this is sufficient, all right? So now we're gonna copy and paste the solution and see if it works. Okay. Boom, worked. Okay. Again, not the best explanation, but I mean, the more I do it, the better I become. Okay. Take care.